good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Witness. Or I guess I should aim that direction, The Witness. Wow, I did not expect the screen to look as it does currently, so I will fix that. Transform. So 20 by 1080. There we go. Lock that down. Done. Okay. One small hiccup, and if that's the worst thing that happens tonight, then I think we're in good shape. Hello again. My name is Sturm. Good to see you if you're joining me here. Going to be playing a little bit of The Witness this evening. It is something that I had planned on playing since Extra Life 2019, I believe. So a good 7-8 months ago. Planned on doing that as soon as I was finished with Rise of the Tomb Raider, simply because I have a great fondness for this game. It's very chill, very relaxing, a very introspective game as well. But it's a puzzle game at its core with some philosophy thrown in for good measure. Don't worry, it's not the bad kind of philosophy. Well, I'll let you be a judge for yourself on that. I have played this game through once or twice already, including a 100% completion of it. That's the reason why you're seeing the possibility to load a game here. But I will actually be starting a new game, obviously. Going to 100% this, at least that is my intention, is to 100% the game again here on stream. Obviously not in one sitting, but that is my intention. I'm trying to take it a little bit slow this evening because I'm having a little bit of some medical issues that require my heart's beating pretty fast, for not because I'm streaming but for other reasons, and I'm trying to be chill, and what better way to chill than with The Witness. So without further ado, we will start a new game. It's a very relaxing game is the reason why I chose it. And it came out in, I think, 2016. And this is all you're presented with. In fact, when you first boot up the game, of course, you're given some instructions, which is great. But when you first boot up the game, you're not given any kind of logos and other splash screens saying, powered by NVIDIA or AMD and all these things. You're not here. This studio produced this, and this one developed it, and so forth and so on. You're not given any of that. You're just thrown at the main menu if you had not started a previous game. In fact, if you have a previous game, you're immediately dumped into it without even just bypassing the menu screen, which is very refreshing in this day and age to not have to wade through all the cruft and annoyances that are so often attributed or associated with AAA titles. It's a very simplistic game at its heart. It's a very beautiful game. And like I said, as you can see, it just kind of dumps you in, gives you only a very, very minimal amount of hints as to what to do in terms of the controls. So it is a first-person perspective game. You're thrown in here without any kind of backstory, without knowing what's going on, who you are, what you're supposed to do, etc. But this is, as I said, a first-person perspective game, so you use the WSAD controls as you would normally expect to do in this game. My mouse is inverted here. I need to adjust that. It's also a little bit on the sensitive side, so let me adjust that some. If I'm able to, actually, yeah, I should be able to. So let's move the. I don't know why there's a separate 3D and 2D, but we definitely I would want to invert that. Don't need to. Now, that's one of the keys anyway. Now we can't turn around at the beginning. One thing that I will point out, I'm not going to belabor this, but the guy who created this, his name is Jonathan Blow. He considers himself an artist. He is a little pretentious, and it does show in this game. But I think it's somewhat deserved. He had previously created a game called Braid, which is an interesting time-based 2D platformer game where you can play with time. But anyway, so in this, let me just go ahead and point out that at the very beginning you cannot turn around all the way, which is interesting. I think it's the only point in the game where you cannot turn around all the way. If I move a little bit further in this tunnel here, okay, now I can turn around all the way. Yeah. So we come up here to this, and you're given another instruction with the mouse click. So what happens is, if you do this, there's these panels scattered throughout the game. If you hit the mouse button on near one of these panels, you're zoomed in on it, and oh yeah, I switched the 2D and 3D is I need to increase the 2D. Increase the 2D. There we go. Leave the 3D about there. There, that's much better. And the whole idea is you click, drag to from the beginning, drag to the end, and click again in order to do something. Now, before I go any further, that's one puzzle I just solved there, and that is the gist of the entire game. Click in the starting point and drag your mouse to the end point and click again to end it. That's the whole game. But if I just left it at that, you would think, well, that's a very boring game. Just you wait. You're going to be very surprised if you have not seen this game before, or seen it anywhere. Well, just wait. You will see. You might be surprised at how this simple mechanic of just click, drag, click becomes something very interesting. So, also I will note that the moment you bring up this is the point I wasn't going to belabor earlier. I'm trying not to now, but it was shown to me by a friend of what's his name? Shady Paradox. Friend of his, Markleby. He that if you hit escape to bring up the menu, you'll notice how it has that sort of persistence of vision thing that you experience whenever you close your own eyes. You get that redness, and then it slowly dissipates. The idea is you're kind of dreaming in a way a little bit or something. So you're witnessing whatever the player is doing, and when you close your eyes, you're taken out of the dream for just a moment. I don't know. It's weird. See, if I were to hit escape here, you can see a little persistence of vision that kind of dissipates a little bit. Now, as we get further on into the game and solve more puzzles that involve rules and shapes and colors and so on, you start to see those floating around in the menu screen here as if you're dreaming about them. It's an interesting little touch. I like it. But at any rate, so we start out in this tunnel. We walk out here. We're presented with a second one. And solve that one fairly easily. Go up a very dark staircase here into the outside. Now, this is a very bright, very colorful game. It runs very well on modern systems. I'm probably might be experiencing a little bit of stuttering here and there, simply because I'm doing so much on this computer, and I may have some background processes running as well that I shouldn't be. Now you'll see way off in the distance there, it looks like a sort of mountain with some sort of structure you can barely see on top of it. In fact, if I click to bring up this thing, I can point it out right there. You'll find out more about that later. Now, I've noticed that this game is looking very dark on my stream here. I don't know why that is. It shouldn't be that dark. Actually, the menu looks fine. Doesn't appear to be all that dark. It's just this does. I wonder if there's some sort of post-processing going on in this game that's causing it to appear dark on the screen. I don't know why that is. Or if it's just my perception of it here. I don't think it is, though. I think it really is dark. Well, I mean, I could stop it and then try to troubleshoot this, figure out what's going on. Or I could just keep on playing. Yeah, you can't really see, especially here I can see yeah. Some sort of brightness filter or something going on here that's making it look not quite as good as it should. As good as it should. On stream. Well, tell you what, I'm going to tough it out for now. And we'll see how this looks in post. I may or may not brighten this up with some post editing. We'll see. But as you can see now, that after that last puzzle, this is the next one that we see in our path. And well, okay, this one's more complicated here. How are we going to solve this one? I don't know. Maybe like this? Sure enough. Oh, wait a second. Cable lit up. Where is this cable going? It's going over here, over this wall. Let's walk around here. Oh, to this thing. Okay, well, this is another one. And this teaches you some things like you can't bump in on yourself. Coming up here doesn't do anything. If you click anywhere but the end, it just kind of retracts. So, alright, well, we just have to find that little, rounded endpoint there. And it's going in up here. Well, maybe is it in here? Sure enough, it's coming in here. So this is an interesting sequence of, well, let's... Oh, I heard something else after that. So we come over, follow this glowing cable, and sure enough it came to this, and it looks like it opened up the top of that. Well, if we attempt to solve this one, I can see the endpoint down there, but we can't get to it. Well, looks like there are 2 more latches that need to be released. So this is how the game teaches you to learn as you go. It's a very visual teaching game. which I appreciate greatly. So here's another one. Okay, well, this one looks a little bit different, but again, the concept is still the same, and I went the wrong way. No? That's the only way to go, Chris. Just a missing brick in the wall there. Another brick in the wall. Now let's see, where's this other cable going? Looks like it's this way, over here. And, oh, it's over that wall there. Well, let's see if we can't follow it. Yep, sure enough, it's over here. I mean, what is this place? It looks like the ruins of a castle or keep or something, right? Can't remember what this location is affectionately known as in the lore, or at least amongst players of the game. Also, you see this weird, out of place sort of couch with pillows and floor carpeting. I don't know, rug. Very odd, right? Now here's an interesting one. Wait a second, this one has 2 endpoints. Well, and there's 2 cables coming out of it. You can open one or the other. Let us open up maybe this top one. Well, I heard something open up, but here's the thing. Well, can we follow where this other one leads? Oh yeah, that's right, it leads back here. So it didn't open up what we needed, right? Yeah, nope. So we're gonna have to go back and solve it the other way. So again, the game's teaching you how this game works. You only have one activated at a time, at least in this puzzle. And sure enough, there we go. All the panels are open. So now we can solve it and open up the gate. Yay, we can go on through. Fantastic. Now, having opened up the gate, well, no, I'll leave it that way for now, and you'll see it in a bit here. Again, it's showing you, okay, you can move. You can also hold down the shift key and you can run to make moving around a little bit faster. Excuse me. So as we move around here and look around, oh, look at this. What we have here is an interesting overlook to a bay with a dock on it, and appears to be some sort of little town in ruins over there. And at first glance, you don't really see anything special about it. We'll come back to this. And what's this little path here? It leads to something that, uh-oh, what's going on here? Huh? We see multiple starting points, multiple endpoints. We see little hexagon dots, and we see squares, but both black and white. I mean, what are we supposed to do about this? This is not as simple as what we encountered before, and this hints at what I was talking about earlier, in that it's not so simple as you just click, drag, click to do this game. It's not, that's the original premise, but oh my goodness, can it get interesting and more complicated as you go. Now we can keep walking here. There are some things we can do at that little starting area, but I'm not going to go do them just yet. I'm actually going to continue on with this. We see 2 little, look like areas that have some panels in them that we can solve. So let's start with this one over here. Okay, well, no, and it's flashing those red and it resets. Well, let's try this one. This way, whoops. Nope, won't let me. How about if we just go straight through the middle? Okay, you can do that. Also, a neat little thing is that we don't have to back away and go to the next panel. We can just hit left and right on the controls to do that. So as you solve these, you begin to see what's happening here. Well, see, only those two are flashing, which means the whole rule set here with these black and white rounded squares here, I just call them squares, is that, alright, this is, I hate to say it, but this is segregation is what this rule is. Separating out the white from the black. Now, wait a second, how are we supposed to get to the endpoint here? Well, it's just a matter of going around another way. So it's teaching you multiple ways of doing the same thing in order to accomplish the task set out here. And we can move here, come up here. So as it gets more and more complicated, you start to see in the end the blank ones don't matter whether they're part of the black or the white. I could have just as easily on this one, for example, done this, included the blank as part of the white, and apparently that doesn't matter. Okay, so now you think, well, how are we going to solve this one? Now things get interesting. Now we get interested here, like this. There, see? Okay. Real quickly, I forgot to show something earlier after I had solved that first panel. How many have we solved now? I've forgotten here. We got, looks like 9 panels here. I'm going to go ahead and just run back real quickly and count how many we've solved. Which we came from this direction. So it's very quiet, very soothing. Some people might even call it a walking simulator. I don't know. But here's another one that's 10. One in here makes 12. This one here, 11. This one here makes 12. 13, 14, and around this corner here is 15. Well, there are 2 ways to solve that one. And then back here is 16 and 17 in that little entryway. So if we come up here and say load game, ignoring all this stuff down here and only looking up here, 17 solved. Is that what I counted there? 17, yep. Now we'll get into what these little pluses mean later. But as you can see, yeah, there's quite a few puzzles here. I'm not going to spoil anything by looking at that too much. If you want to, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can pause it and look at that screen if you want. I'm not going to delete my saves just to, save you from the spoiling that's going, that might be there. All right, let's go do these. All right. So this one has these little dots in it. Now let's just ignore the dots. Maybe you're supposed to segregate them. No. All right, are we supposed to, what if we gobble up one or something? No. What happens if we hit one? Yeah, both of them rather. I mean, okay. So now you can kind of see what the idea is here. Hearing some weird sounds. I don't know if it's in the game or otherwise. So this rule is that we need to the line needs to pass through all those dots. Now here's one with multiple start positions. So, you have to kind of decide how you're going to be able to do this. And some of these, even they may look simple, may require some thought, because as I said, you can't go back in on your starting point. So I can't say, oh, I need to grab this one. Well, crap, how am I going to get through? You can't. So you have to think about how you're going to do this, right? Already, as you can see, I'm having some difficulty. Okay, here we go. Like that. There we are. So, alright, well, what does that do for us? Well, nothing really, except teach us the rules. Okay, so now having done those, we can kind of go back to this one that we saw here. Not kind of, we can go back to this and solve it, because we now know the rules for it. We have the segregating of black and white, and we have the dots. We also have multiple starting points and multiple endpoints. But we've learned these rules now, so well, why don't we see if we can solve this much more difficult one and open what appears to be this door. Before I do that, however, let me give you a little bit of a tease. If you walk around, you can walk up this little hill, and we're going to get to some interesting points here, but one thing I wanted to show is this little window, which if you look in the window, you can see the other side of that door and what's in there. Can't jump in, unfortunately, but yeah, you can kind of see what's going on there. And you might be wondering, well, where is does this philosophy part you were talking about come into play? We're getting to that. First, however, let's see if we can solve this. Well, we don't want to hit this one because, let me start from here, because we need to gobble up both of these. If we need to hit both of these, we can't do that from here. So a lot of these you can kind of rule out like that. This one you can't do either, because if you need to hit this one, you can't segregate these two. So some of these, same here, you can't do both of these at the same time if you start from this location. So that leaves only one place where you can really start. So let's see if we can't figure out how to do this. All right. Like this, maybe. And sure enough, that works. Now that's certainly not the only solution, I'm sure. But that one opens up the door for us. Step inside. Wow, that is so dark on the screen there. I am so sorry about this. Maybe you've got this little box here with a thing on the side. And we can open that up, and we got this. I'm going to screenshot this. I hit the wrong screenshot button. Isn't there a screenshot key in here? I don't know what that key is. Now we can't interact with this. This is just a excuse me. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I like how it's giving me some stats there. You can barely see it on your screen. But, well, I don't know what the, Or maybe it's print screen. Yep, screenshot it says. Should have known. Okay, so, interesting, huh? Okay, there's one tree there. I guess that's supposed to be foreshadowing something that's coming up. Hadn't noticed that before, but I've noticed it now. Alright, now, before I go any further, because there's still quite a bit, we saw more ways to go down that way. I'm going to show some other stuff here. Let me see if I can find them all. Back, haven't left the starting zone yet because there's still some stuff to do around here. More things than you can imagine, hardly even. But, let's see, I don't think there's any here, if I remember correctly. What I'm looking for is voice recorders. I don't think there's any actually down here, so we're gonna have to go up the hill so that I can show them to you. So let's go do that. Now you'll notice up here on the hill, which by the way we can see there's also some stuff over there. You can't die in this game either, by the way. This is very much a safe game. You can walk around here and there's a gate here, but there's a cable leading to it that isn't lit up. Oh, it's going through there. Oh, we know what's in there, don't we? Yes. We'll get to that shortly. For the moment, let's come around here. We're on the ramparts of this little starting area, so we can get a more bird's eye view of it, sort of. But you'll notice whenever we look around, some things we might discover around here are just kind of laying around like that. I'll show you in a moment what that's all about as soon as I can get to it. That's not the only one. There are many of them throughout this place. So let's see here. This is where I was talking about. Here's the ceiling to that little area where we exited the initial tunnel. And again, here's this sort of out of place pillows and a drink here on a napkin. And here's what I'm talking about. Here's the first one even.
Through many births, I have wandered on and on.
I don't know why, but the subtitles aren't coming on. I thought I'd turn them on.
Searching for,
Here we go.
but never finding, the builder of this house.
Okay. Now, anyone who is watching this who has played this game before and knows all its intricacies and secrets and details may be screaming at the screen right now, but about something I'm missing, some stuff that I'm missing. And if you're not talking about the voice logs, you're right. There is some stuff that I'm not talking about yet, but that we'll get to that. We will get to that. We're not quite just there yet.
I am standing on the threshold about to enter a room. It is a complicated business. In the first place, I must shove against an atmosphere pressing with a force of 14 pounds on every square inch of my body. I must make sure of landing on a plank, traveling at 20 miles a second around the sun. A fraction of a second too early or too late, the plank would be miles away. I must do this whilst hanging from a round planet head outward into space and with a wind of ether blowing at no one knows how many miles a second through every interstice of my body. The plank has no solidity of substance, To step on it is like stepping on a swarm of flies. Shall I not slip through? No. If I make the venture, one of the flies hits me and gives me a boost up again. I fall again and am knocked upwards by another fly, and so on. I may hope that the net result will be that I remain about steady, but if, unfortunately, I should slip through the floor or be boosted too violently up to the ceiling, the occurrence would be not a violation of the laws of nature, but a rare coincidence. These are some of the minor difficulties. I ought really to look at the problem four-dimensionally as concerning the intersection of my world line with that of the plank. Then again, it is necessary to determine in which direction the entropy of the world is increasing in order to make sure that my passage of the threshold is an entrance, not an exit. Verily, it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a scientific man to pass through a door. And whether the door be barn door or church door, it might be wiser that he should consent to be an ordinary man and walk in, rather than wait till all the difficulties involved in a really scientific ingress are resolved. Arthur Eddington, 1927.
So most of these little voice recorders are quotes like that, usually from famous philosophers or writers. I don't know the whole list of them, but most of them are good. Some of them are not so much. But anyway, so you notice what I did there while that was playing. I was taking advantage of the time that it was just going on and on. Going back and solving that other puzzle that had two endpoints, so I could trigger this door to open right here. And sure enough, here we are. And I'm being somewhat careful to look around here because sometimes these little voice recorders, which are, let's be clear here, they're not necessary to complete the game. I like to think that they contribute to 100% myself, so I still try at least to find all of them. Could have sworn there was another one along this pathway, but I may have been mistaken. I know there's one in here. But okay, so now this presents an interesting challenge. Probably that sound may become annoying after a little while. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. So, yep, there we go. That'll do the trick. If you just miss one of those, you won't be able to open this door.
Of all the communities available to us, there's not one I would want to devote myself to, except for the Society of True Searchers, which has very few living members at any time. Albert Einstein, 1924.
That was a tricky one. And you notice there's the weird sort of discarded panel. I think, well, what is this about? There's a triangle on it. I've heard some people call those Doritos. It's just a triangle, crying out loud. And this is another teaching mechanic, but they're not lined up in a row, kind of like the other two sets that we saw. But yeah, there's our first one. It's certainly not the only one. It will be the last. So let's just move on and on. We have finally done it. As far as I know, all that we can over there in the starting area, at least that we know of. Let's just follow the path, see where it leads us. It leads us to... Wait a minute, what's over here? Nothing. That's right, just because this leads up over there. So yeah, it leads us to this little area here. And so what we have here is a new mechanic. Yeah, ooh, see-through panels, interesting. That's easy enough to open that up, huh? And we can even see it from the back side. And we have all these interesting pots here. Isn't that interesting? And one of them looks to be a little more raised up than the others. I wish I hadn't opened it up that way, but you know, if you do it this way, then that changes, and look, another one is raised up instead. So that's significant. Normally you don't, understand anything about that until later. Trust me, we'll come back to it. Just not for a long time. I could do these things as I go, but I choose not to this time around. So we walk around here, and I don't think there's any, we can't step into the water, and I don't think there's any audio recordings around here. Very calm water, by the way. It's one defining characteristic of this game that I have noticed is that it's very, very calm water. And I got a drink. I am getting dry of mouth. So we saw a little symmetry that we, saw earlier there. Well, same symmetry can be done here, but as you can see, if there's a break in any one of these, then, and of course we can't intersect the other one. We have to follow the rules and be careful how we can actually go. I guess that's, I don't know, but anyway. Yeah, can't go that way, can't do anything with these, that. Can go this way. Wow, now things get interesting because you notice this little metal piece here. Prevents us from clicking on some of those starting points. So, interesting, huh? Now, having done that, oh, look at that. This thing is opened up and it's powered something over there. We can even step out here and there's kind of a unpowered panel there. What's that about? Well, I guess we're going to find out soon. Patience. Now here's a different kind of symmetry, huh? So you can't just go there. We can't just... Yeah, we have to kind of go where we can. No, we can't do that. No, we can't do that. And it's powering up over the other side here. And this is where things start to get interesting. Yeah, see. Gotta be careful. There we go. Oops. Slide over here. And notice, well, someone's left some heat on this for too long, and it's caused to kind of melt, huh? Thankfully, they still work. It's just weird and hard to see exactly what's happening here. But yep, sure enough, it works. In fact, that's the same. They're all three exactly the same. I mean, where the cut lines are different, but I solved them the same way. I don't know whether or not that there's multiple solutions to them. I'm sure there are. But yeah, there you go. So now we follow this line. Where is it going? Well, let's follow it, see where it goes. I have been streaming for almost an hour, so I probably will want to call it quits here soon. But let's get over here. Let's solve this section here because there is a sort of natural conclusion to it here soon. Don't worry about that big black thing right there. We'll come back to that. Trust me on this. Well, here's the door. There we go. We can open up that door, no problem here. And so now we're in this little area. Now up here, we can't seem to solve this one because... Oh, wait a minute. Maybe we can. Nope, we certainly can't. There's no way for us to solve it currently. We need to power this first. You see a cable coming down there from here. Yeah, so we got to solve a bunch of those, and if I remember correctly, we have to start all the way over here in order to do so. So let's see what the rule is here. Oh, that was pretty simple, huh? See, now we've combined a rule from before where we have to intersect all of these. Oops. See what I mean? Well, shoot. There we go. Here we go. No, we don't go. You know, I don't remember this. I certainly don't remember it being quite so annoying. See, we cut off access to that whenever we take such a interesting route. See, yeah. Which means the only way to get both of those is to come through here like this. But we need to grab that first. And then there's that too. Yeah. Wow, I'm finding myself a bit of an issue with this here. Actually, wait a second. Wait a second. Here we go. Here we go. That was more difficult than I was remembering it to be. Well, it's slightly different mirroring going on here now. Here we go again with this. There we go. And here's one where, yeah, it powers up another something else. Yeah. So each panel kind of teaches you a little bit more and a little bit more, a little bit more as you go. It's very interesting. I do appreciate this. I really do. Okay. Now, we have colored things here. Wait a second. So, wherever you start is the green, and the mirrored one is the different color. So, if you got something like that, nope. And if you do this, of course, it flashes what's wrong. So, you quickly realize, oh, okay. I have to utilize the colors correctly. And it can be interesting. Now, here's the different colors as well as the neutral colors of, black one in this case, or close to black anyway. I really wish I could figure out why on earth the screen is showing up so dark on stream. Whoops, let's go out of our way a little bit there to grab that. Oh, no, that wasn't good. Let's try it like this. No. Ooh, this is an annoying one, isn't it? Why, yes, indeed it is. I'm not entirely sure what we should be doing about this one. Here we go. That'll do. And look, now we have two colors, green and yellow, or teal and yellow, I guess. Yeah, sorry for the long stretches of science, but sometimes I need to think, and that requires that I be silent for a little while. Yeah, here we go. This will do. Now this one starts teaching you, well, the yellow's starting to fade a little bit here. Oh, it's fading even more. What's going on? Why is this even happening? Yeah, that's a thing. And actually, the well, this solution is, oh, it's not quite the same, is it? Because this time we need the yellow to go through that, don't we? Oh my. And now it's almost faded completely. And now look at this. It has faded completely. Oh. So the idea is to just kind of imagine where it really is. You know? And you have to kind of picture where that yellow line is. Now this one's interesting because you don't have to pick up any of the green dots, only the yellow one has to. So you really have to bear in mind where it possibly is. So again, very interesting teachings here. And we come up here and hey, now we can actually open this one. Hooray! Very interesting stuff, huh? Now there's some optional panels. If we come back down here with these, and we follow a different path down, we start to see this sort of thing happening. I'll tell you what, I'm going to save those for next time because we're almost done with this little section here. We'll have one more little bit of philosophy after this too. Let me go ahead and take care of this right now. Now, look at this. We have two panels. One is yellow and has yellow dots. The other is green, but you can't solve it. So it's a sort of a variation on a theme from before. So, okay, how do we do this? Well, mimic that, but obviously mirrored. Okay. Now you could, you know, take screenshots with your phone or something. I try to memorize it, see, like that. The dots are hidden, essentially, but they're in the same locations. Now, things get a little more complicated with something like this. Right? And so, in this time, yeah, we have to go to the left rather than to the right. So I'm pretty sure we did this. Yep. One more to go. This one's mirrored 180 degrees, actually, so it makes it even more difficult. But it's actually a fairly simple solution, as you can see. Just like that. Now we just need to think of how it would be if it were mirrored 180 degrees. We're going up first, and then make the snake. So basically like this. Ooh, and we get punished. No, we don't get punished. It just doesn't solve. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, we do get punished. We have to redo this one. So that's what I call punishing, where the screen goes goes black completely when you try to solve it. If you don't, you know, if you fail it, if you fail when trying to solve it, and so you have to go back to resolve one you've done before in order to re-enable that panel. I keep saying screen, I mean panel. So we want to go up then down. And up. Yeah, no, that's correct. Is that correct though? No, it is not. Up and down. Like that. There we go. And what is this thing? This is weird, and it has an interesting little sort of pattern on the box. Well, let's do this to it. We hear something happening. We see something happening. What's happening? So the box is opening up. Something is popping up from the top of it. What does it look like from the top? Can't find out. There is no jump in this game either, by the way. So it looks like it might be a camera or something like that. You know, something spinning up behind it. Make some final adjustment. Ooh, a laser. A pretty laser. And it's shooting up at the top of that monument we saw earlier on the top of that mountain. Huh, what's that about? Also, those clouds are way closer than any clouds I'm familiar with on this planet. See how close they're moving? Yeah. Interesting, huh? And helpful too, as we'll note soon enough. Well, later actually, much later. So let's walk around here, and we find another little discarded sort of voice recording.
One nature, perfect and pervading, circulates in all natures. One reality, all comprehensive, contains within itself all realities. The one moon reflects itself wherever there is a sheet of water, and all the moons and the waters are embraced within the one moon. The absolute of all the Buddhas enters into my own being, and my own being is found in union with theirs. The inner light is beyond praise and blame. Like space, it knows no boundaries. Yet it is even here, within us, ever retaining its serenity and fullness. It is only when you hunt for it that you lose it. You cannot take hold of it, but equally you cannot get rid of it. And while you can do neither, it goes on, its own way. You remain silent, and it speaks. You speak, and it is dumb. The great gate of charity is wide open, with no obstacles before it. Young Cha Tashi, circa 700.
And with that, I think we're going to call it a night. So if you've been watching, thank you very much for doing so. And I'm going to continue this next week. Please follow me here on Twitch at twitch.tv/SturmB. You can find me on Twitter at SturmB and on Instagram, where I'm simply known as Sturm. STURM. Sierra Tango Umbrella Romeo Mike. Bravo at the end if you are on Twitch or Twitter. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Click the bell, whatever. I know no one's really going to be watching this, but I'm going to offer those things anyway. I stream right here every Wednesday evening at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, or 2100 Eastern Time. That should be, I believe right now anyway, 0200 UTC, because that's 5 hours ahead from us. But anyway, feel free to do the math if you like. I'm getting a little tired. My mouth is getting having a hard time forming words, and my mouth is getting dry as well. So I'm going to head on out. I will be streaming this again next Wednesday evening. I didn't know tonight was kind of a weird night because I had some things happening earlier on this week that I could not control. But I should be back on regular schedule next week. So I'll see you then. Until then, take care.